It did stop. I'll try to merge those two recordings together. We should be okay. At least you caught it pretty quick. Not quick enough. I mean, there was like a 15-second period there where I was talking about stealing Audible books. Anyway, so yeah, so if you got Audible on your thing, I can log into my account. You can download those couple of books and listen to them. If you listen to audiobooks. I mean, I don't have the paper version of it because who uses paper? I don't have the Kindle version or the iBooks version either because who uses their eyes to read? It's a waste of eyesight. But especially the Orson Scott Card books, they're read by a guy named Stephen Rudnicki, who's a pretty good reader. He changes voices and all that crap. Okay. Oh, and for audiobooks, you'd like this, being an Ender's Game fan. Right before the movie came out, they re-released the original Ender's Game book as a dramatic reading. So they hired actors and stuff like that to read for all the different... Oh, it's pretty legit. So I may or may not have that you could borrow as well. But again, this is an ethics. I'm ethically telling you, if you're going to borrow something, it should only live on one device at a time, which is fine because I've already listened to all of them. Just delete it when you're done. Okay, what happened?
That's the movie file.
Ha-ha! There we go. Like a monkey doing a math problem up here. Oh, like my haircut? Look at that.
Nice.
I had the vacuum out, vacuuming the house this weekend because my wife was still sick. She's better now. She's back at work. But I decided now is as good of a time as ever to cut my hair. This is always the same haircut I do because I don't like hair. I can't wait to just go bald. I think I have the receding hairline, so maybe eventually. Because I don't own a comb. So when you wake up in the morning, you got the cowlick stuff. It's like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do? So many people care so much about hair. I wish they could just have my hair. I don't need it. Unicode. So we decided to conform. Unicode is a 16-bit unsigned integer. 0 to 65,535, so 65,536 unique characters, of which first 256 are the ASCII character set. So it's fair to say that Unicode is a superset of ASCII. Make sense? So I don't know for sure that Unicode literally covers all languages, but it covers a lot of languages. So you get all the different Han characters and all the weird stuff that Americans don't understand. You get all of it. Okay. So in any case, that's the deal with Unicode. So it's a more universal code set. In fact, I bet you that's what that stands for. Universal code. Take that to the bank. Okay. So anyways, Java uses Unicode, and most of our modern day programming languages do it as well. C# is Unicode. Objective-C is Unicode. So that's the scoop there. So anyways, back to this guy. So bytes hold number. Everybody relax. Bytes hold numbers -127 to +128. Huh? Was it? Yeah, -128 to +127. Just testing you. Short is -32,768 to +32,767. Integers are plus or minus 2 billion. Longs are plus or minus giant number. Chars are 0 to 65,535. Why? To support Unicode. This guy. Okay? So, in Java and all of our modern languages, the char primitive type is actually an integer type. But when it's displayed, it maps to the character. Okay? But internally, it's still stored as an integer. Okay. Floats. A float is a 32-bit signed integer followed by a decimal point followed by a 16-bit unsigned integer. 16-bit. Okay. So floats are like the integer version of decimal numbers, like 3.14, that kind of stuff. Integer types can't hold decimal places. Double is a 64-bit signed integer, followed by decimal place, followed by, I believe it's a 32-bit unsigned integer. So don't like take that as gospel, but I bet you it's close. And that's a Christian worldview. Check. So anyways, the float is the integer of floating point numbers. 32 bits in front of the decimal point. That's because it has to hold one of those bits for a positive or negative number. You don't have positive or negative afterwards, so 16-bit unsigned is fine. It's possible that a double also uses a 16-bit unsigned afterwards. I don't know if they actually hold a different number of decimal places. Let's just assume I'm right. It's a fair assumption. All right, so that's the deal with floats and doubles. Floats and doubles are the decimal point version of ints and longs. Booleans is a 0 or a 1 is how they're actually represented. Realistically, though, under the hood, they're stored as unsigned bytes with only two options. 8 zeros or 7 zeros and a 1. We just don't have a efficient way of storing a single bit in our current computer systems. And if you take the operating systems class, which all of you will be taking at some point, we learn about why that's inefficient to store individual bits. But anyways, this is our breakdown. Realistically speaking, 97.25% of the time you'll use an int. If that's not big enough, you'll use a long. If that's not big enough, you'll know what else to use. There's some object types that allow you to do some other things. Interestingly enough, modern trend is always use a double for floating point numbers. Floats are just old school, I guess. And I really don't know why that is. It's just a thing. Okay. So we were talking about variables. Variables are name containers for memory. Value must, in a strongly typed language, value must be a certain type. We talked about two different types of variables, primitive types and object types. Here are our different primitive types in Java. Some of these translate into things in GameSalad, which we'll look at. Some of them don't. Then here's our coding dealy flippies. Okay, so questions about any of that stuff? All right, so now let's look at GameSalad a little bit. We're going to be bouncing back and forth between these, the slide set and GameSalad for a couple of classes. And then we're going to make Flappy Birds. So there's a tool that we're going to use in here. It's available for Mac and Windows. The Windows version of it has a couple of different screens in the Mac version, but everything pretty much translates. So I'll be using the Mac version as our demonstration in class, but oh, Amazon bought GameSalad? Interesting. Okay, what am I doing here? Okay, so anyways, go ahead and you can sign up for a account. So if you go here and say download creator for free, GameSalad is a game engine. It's a drag and drop game engine. So something we're going to be referring a lot to this semester is how many of you saw the movie The Matrix? Good movie, right? What was the best of the 3 Matrix movies? The Super Bowl commercial? Now, why? Well, would Morpheus really go into the fake world to watch a fake football game?
Oh no, that Super Bowl was pretty fake to me.
Interesting story though. This past weekend was the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. I'm a big golf fan, so I watch a lot of golf, and so it's an interesting tournament because it's an amateur tournament and a professional tournament and a Pro-Am tournament built into one tournament. So every pro is playing with an amateur player, and that's a team competition. Yet at the same time, it's not multiple. Every shot they take counts for 3 different things. So every shot the pro takes, they're competing against the other professionals head to head. They're competing as a member of a team in the Pro-Am. And then every amateur that they take is competing as a member of the team for the Pro-Am as well as in the individual competition amongst the amateurs. Well, so the punchline there is Peyton Manning played in this thing. And usually as a golfer, the first part of your game that breaks down is your short game. Your full swing usually stays pretty solid, even between seasons, but your short game, you lose your touch. He had a pretty good short game, given that the Super Bowl just ended. So I don't know what he was doing in between practices and stuff, but it seemed pretty sharp. They dedicated about a 10-minute spot on Golf Channel to like his highlight reel from the first day. Pretty decent golfer. Hits the ball a ton, too.
Maybe that's a sport.
Well, no, I'm a better golfer than he is, but he could hit the ball farther than me. He could outdrive me by like 100 yards. These monsters are all pumped up on something, zebra testosterone and stuff. So anyways, come in here. It's GameSalad.com. Put in your email address to, sign up for their we're going to send you a zillion emails thing. Say that you're over 13 years old, then click download. So you'll download this thing. I already downloaded it, I think, the other day. Here it is. But do I have something funny in here?
No, I don't.
World of Warcraft.
How many of you are WoW players? Still?
Yeah.
What max level characters do you have?
I haven't played for a while, but I have Necromancer. I think he's level 80. Yeah.
Necromancers don't exist in WoW.
Oh wait.
It's called a warlock.
Warlock. Yeah. I'll have to show you some.
Okay, yeah, we're talking about new players here. I get it.
Yeah.
My little brother plays that. He's got like 4 max level characters.
Fell off on RuneScape.
Because it was free. That's why you don't play WoW. RuneScape's free.
Hey,
You should try the public beta of Hearthstone. How many of you have played Magic the Gathering card game? Hearthstone is Blizzard's new competitive card game thing. I think it really might turn into like a professional type people really playing for money. It's open beta right now. You don't have to, no credit card, nothing. Just go to battle.net, sign your life away or whatever, and you can download the public beta. It's pretty slick. Yeah, it's fun. But it's a lot like Magic with a little bit of a twist, I guess. Yeah, so in any case, I love your max level Necromancer. That's EverQuest days.
Wow.
So to install this guy, for the Mac, you'll click on the DMG. It still says it's in beta, but this is like year 6 of the beta. Very Google-esque. Gmail just left beta last year after like a decade. All right, so agree to all this crap. Make sure you read every word of the acceptable use dealy flippy thingy. So for Mac, you just take the little GameSalad funny icon guy, drag it into your applications folder, and you're done. Okay, so now let's launch GameSalad. It's got to finish indexing. Come on. Are you telling me I'm going to actually have to go in to my applications folder and find it. Just
Mad at you because you left it.
so I did what?
Your computer's mad at you because you left it at home yesterday. Your Friday.
It was resting. My computer had pneumonia. I caught it from my wife. All right. So this is what GameSalad looks like. Now remember, I had you write a paper on game engines, right? So what's the punchline on game engines? What are they for? What do we need game engines for? Go ahead.
They're like the backbone for designing games.
Okay. What specific tasks do game engines do for us that would be difficult to do otherwise?
They control the physics, all the menus, processing, all the kind of boring stuff.
Okay. So all the pretty pictures and realistic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So anything about a game that makes it look good, animations, that kind of stuff, as well as things that make it feel as realistic as the developer wants it to feel. You know, does this thing follow real physics or is it fake Mario physics? Okay, because I guarantee even when Mario is on shrooms, he can't jump up to those higher, and he certainly can't grow a tail and fly. Just saying. So in any case, so game engines handle physics and they handle animations, which, we kind of like pigeonhole those and, those are the main two things. That's not a big deal. To write that stuff in a traditional programming language would make it huge. So just consider the reality here that you were supposed to kind of, as your part of your assignment, pick a game engine, a popular game engine, and talk about it. And you probably found there are many, many, many game engines out there. Some of them cost money, some of them don't, blah, blah, blah. But the fact that so many people are writing these game engines and trying to monetize them probably means that the stuff that those game engines are doing is very, very, very time consuming to do in the first place, and also difficult to do right. So just because you decide to take on the challenges, I'm going to write my own physics engine for my video game, doesn't mean you'll write a good one. It might be a crappy physics engine. So one of the things you've probably noticed over the last 5 or 6 years, or even 10 years, with video games, is they keep becoming more and more realistic. Not just in graphics, but how things respond to the environment when somebody jumps off something. How is physics translated into him landing? If a dude jumps off the top of a building, his legs break. Mario, I've seen him jump off stuff, and he's like, fine. He doesn't even lose a step. It's like, fine. So, in any case, game engines do a lot of that for us. GameSalad is I would call it a light game engine. The cool thing about it is you can create pretty neat games very, 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 very quickly. So we're actually going to kind of slow things down and create almost nonsensical puzzles that we're going to solve in here that are going to train us in problem solving. Because one of the things that we have to deal with GameSalad is it has to do with my comment regarding the Matrix. We have to play by the rules of the Matrix. So when you're in the Matrix, you obviously the Matrix is real, right? We're all sitting here now, so I don't want to confuse that fact. But the point is that when Morpheus was teaching Neo in the ninja scene in the first Matrix, how the rules can be broken, blah blah blah, all that crap, right? Well, anyways, you have to play by the rules of the system. So some things that might be easy to comprehend, like, okay, this is the problem I need to solve. GameSalad may put some limitations on you where you need to MacGyver a solution. That kind of makes sense? And that's part of the fun of it. That's part of the learning experience of it. Learning how to use the tools that are in your toolbox to solve the problem. We always want to solve the problem in maybe, let's say, the most efficient way. I'm not sure I want to say always solve it the most efficient way. But we always want to solve a problem in the best possible way. Sometimes the best possible way isn't the best possible way globally, but it's the best possible way given the tools we have on hand. That's why you can pretty much fix anything in your house with a screwdriver and a roll of duct tape. Sometimes a screwdriver actually becomes part of the fix. I one time installed a window unit air conditioner in one of those small basement windows. the window wasn't quite big enough for the window unit air conditioner, so I chiseled away a bunch of the foundation, and then I shoved this shoved the air conditioner in there, and so in the end it fit. It was custom stonework is what I did. But then he has like the little accordion things in the edge that keep like the rats and crap from getting in. Well, it wasn't made for that type of opening, so I had to somehow get it to stay open. So what I did is I opened one side and I shoved a screwdriver in there to hold it. And I used that, remember the spray cans of the expanding foam? Sealed that in there. Sold that with the house. Yeah, that wasn't going anywhere. That expanding foam expands a lot. So interesting. So if you ever need tips on fixing things, I also one time fixed a doorknob with like 7 or 8 things of Kleenex. What am I doing? Oh, I need to create a blank project. My great project. So when you create a project, you can give it a title. You can choose what you want to target it for. So with the with GameSalad, you can target for iPhones or iPads. You can target for Nook, Kindle Fire. There's an online arcade that they have where you can just upload it to their GameSalad arcade, which is full screen, high definition, MacBook. Here's older stuff, so it'll run on older versions of iPhone. Never click on any of these. With the Pro version, you can also target the Android. So idea is that you, for free, you can use this thing to write games, export them, upload them to the App Store, and sell your games. You could literally make Flappy Birds using GameSalad. Not that without that much difficulty. If you choose not to pay for GameSalad, what shows up? You'll have a launch screen that'll be a GameSalad launch screen. If you pay the $500 or something like that for the license, then you get to choose your own launch screen, whatever. And I think you can also, with the Pro version, target the Android App Store. But regardless, it doesn't matter for us. We're just learning some problem solving. And if you come up with a great game you ultimately want to put on the App Store, you can decide what you want to do with it. Typically, every semester we teach 200. Students usually produce 2 or 3 games that end up going on the App Store. So it becomes kind of an interesting thing. I think one year one of the students made something like $40. Pretty legit. Some arcade shooter thing. Actually, I think it's still on there. It's called Astro. Let's see. Search.
Astro app.
No, I just searched for Astro. I don't see it on here. I wonder if they stopped paying for their developer account. Maybe it fell off. But in any case, here's your project info. You have 3 things up here. We'll mess with tables later. So we have something called scenes. So GameSalad, you want to think about making your video games kind of like a movie. So each level is its own scene. Sometimes each cut scene is a scene, blah, 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 whatever. Actors, these are the dudes that play roles in your scenes. So, for instance, Mario would be an actor. The little turtle guys with the flappy wings and stuff, they would be actors. Okay? So we'll go ahead and start with our initial scene. Just give a quick little demo of this. All right. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to create an actor. So I'm in the actor tab up here. I'll hit the little plus sign. Brand new actor. Drag him out to the screen. There's my actor. Hit play. There's my scene with a single actor on it. Upload to the App Store. 99 cents easily. Okay. So let's talk about how variables translate to this. So I'm going to go ahead over here. This is the blueprint for our actor. So if I drag 2 of these guys out on the screen, both of these guys play by the rules of this global actor. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on this global actor. And he has a set of attributes. These are variables. Okay? So in GameSalad, variables are called attributes. And every actor has a bunch of attributes already built into him. Okay? Now, if we want to add an attribute, I'm going to click the plus sign down here. We get to pick a type, strongly typed language. So our choices are Boolean, which is true or false, 0 or 1. Text, which we'll talk about, that's a string. Integer, real, angle, or index. So for right now, we're going to pick just an integer for this guy. So it creates something called new attribute of type integer. So I'll come into new attribute. We're going to call this guy mynum. Okay, and we're going to set mynum equal to 5. So we just gave it a value. All right, now run this again, and clearly you can see we haven't even used mynum. Now what we want to do is we want to have each of these dudes display mynum. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click on our actor thing again here. Now over here on the right we have something called behaviors. These are the things that actors do. Now after I kind of show you the top level thing here, I'm going to translate this back to the equivalents in Java. So that's why we're going to be bouncing back and forth between GameSalad and Java. So we don't want to have all fun and games. We also want to think about how this is going to translate into what we're going to do next semester. Okay? But we'll do plenty of fun and games. So down here in the bottom left, we have behaviors, images, and sounds. Behaviors should automatically be selected. So these are all the built-in crap that our actors can do. So one of these is called display text. Okay? So I'm going to take that display text behavior. I'm going to drag it out here. It's going to put it on there. So for starters, I could have every guy show our hello world. So what did this do? This makes every single instance of this actor. So this is our blueprint. From this blueprint, I created 1 instance, 2 instances. And now when I preview it, you'll see that both these guys display hello world. Okay? So they both played by the... You can see it, right? We could probably do a better job with the coloring, but you get what I'm saying. Okay, so both of these guys were already created, but because I changed the blueprint, what they were built based on, now they follow those rules. So I can come back into this actor, and instead of just doing a hard-coded text hello world, I'm going to click on this little expression editor thing over here, okay, which allows me to make something more complicated. I'm going to hit this drop down here, and we're going to go to actor 1. That's the name of my global actor here, just to show you. This guy's called actor 1, so that's the name of my blueprint. So I'll go to actor 1, so I'm selecting him, and inside actor 1 we have a attribute that we created called mynum. Okay, so double click on that. So we're going to display self.mynum, and we'll talk about this a little bit in some next class. So I'll hit the little check mark there. Here we'll change the color of this guy to black. All right. Now we'll run it, and both of these guys should show the value of mynum. Make sense? So there's a simple example of variables in action inside of GameSalad. Okay? So for next class, I won't make this an assignment or anything, but go ahead and get GameSalad downloaded onto your computer. Install it. Do something a little stupid like that just to make sure it's working under your installation, Windows or Mac. And because we'll start doing some simple things with it. All right? I will see everybody on Wednesday.
Yeah.